Hello everyone. The topic of this video is input and output in Python. Okay. So first let us look at output. So you've already seen this in your programming drills perhaps, that we use the print function to output data to the standard output device, which usually is your display or monitor. Okay. So to print, you call this print function and you pass a string to it, or you can pass even multiple strings. So first, in this we are passing a single string, or here we are defining a variable and we are passing the first argument as the string and the second argument as the variable. If I print this, so this is the first print statement. The corresponding output is this, and the second print statement, the line number 3, the corresponding output is this. Okay. So now let us look at output formatting. So there are multiple ways to do output formatting. One way is using this dot format function. So you have this string I love, and here you have two placeholders. Okay, so these curly braces, and inside this I have written this 0 and 1. These are called as placeholders. So in these placeholders, I can actually pass some other string or variable to be printed in place of this. So in dot format, so because I have two placeholders here, so I have to pass two arguments to this dot format function. And what these 0 and 1 represent is, like 0 represents the first argument and 1 represents the second argument to this function. Okay, so in Python, all kinds of numbering starts from 0. In general, whenever we count, we start counting 1, 2, 3 and so on. But in programming languages, you will usually see that wherever there is some kind of counting involved, the counting always starts from 0. All right. So what I'm saying, so here the 0 refers to the first argument of this function and 1 refers to the second argument. Okay, so for example, if I print these two statements, so here 0 comes before 1, so bread comes before butter. Okay, whereas here 1 comes before 0, so butter comes before bread. Okay, so that is one way to do it using so I can even skip these numbers. So for example, if I say print, so inside the string I've said I love, and I have two placeholders where I want to put some strings. So I'll say dot format and I have to pass two arguments because I have two placeholders. So now if I run this, so here again you see that bread comes before butter. So if I do not specify any numbers within these placeholders, by default they will take it in the same order or in this order of 0 and 1. But if I want to change the order, for example, if I have three placeholders, so if I want to say bread, cheese and butter, I'll say 0, 2 and 1. So 0 refers to bread, 1 refers to butter, so it will be printed last, and 2 refers to cheese, which will be printed in the middle. So you can see I have printed bread, cheese and butter. So another way to do this, this feature is available in Python 3.6 and the future versions. It is not available in older versions of Python. So that feature is using f strings. So f strings, you first write this letter f and then you write a string. So I can say I love. So if I have two variables, So what I can do is directly within this I can interpolate my variable. Okay, so what this will do is, so here again I have two placeholders. So what I'm saying is, instead of this placeholder you put the variable b, and instead of this placeholder, so the second placeholder, you put the variable c. Okay, another way I could have done this is, this was the older way how you do it in Python, but this is the more modern way to do it. So I would, if you're using a Python which is more than 3.6, this would be a better way, whereas this would be compatible with all versions of Python 3. So you can see that the same thing can be done in this way also. So these are some tips about how to use the print statement. Next, let us look at how to take input in Python. Okay, so many times in your programs you want to take some user input from the user and like make the program execution be dependent on that in some way. Okay, for example, I want to take a number from a user, so the way to do that is to use the input function. Okay, so first let us use the input function simply without any prompt. So if I say, so if I simply call the input function, let us see what happens. So this will open up this box kind of thing here. Here I have to input something. If I say 23, so now this input function has taken this number 23. Okay. Now if I actually want to save this into a variable, I have to use assignment statement. So I can name a variable x, and if I say x equals input, so what will happen is, whatever I give to this input function, that will be assigned to this variable x so that I can use it later on. For example, I can print x 3 times, or so if I give the, so you can see I printed 12 12 12 x 3 times I'm printing. But one more feature which this input function has is that you can give a prompt. For example, the user doesn't, for example, if I just give an input, the user doesn't know what he has to input, right? So one way to do that is, you can simply specify before, let me comment this out, that enter a number. So it will say enter a number. Now the user knows that he has to enter a number, and now this number has gone into x, and I can print x. You have, like, let me use an if string. You have entered, and here I'll just print x. So it's saying you have entered 45. All right. Another way to do this same thing is, instead of writing this print statement separately, what I can do is, I'll say x equals input, and to this itself I'll pass this argument, this string as an argument. Enter a number, and I'll say print are you sure you want to enter x. Okay, now this will do the same thing. This will print this string first, and then it will wait for my input. I'll give it some input, and next, so whatever I've inputted, that has gone into x. Next I go to the next statement to execute, and here you can see that I'm printing this string, are you sure you want to enter, and here I'm printing x. So it's saying, are you sure you want to enter 56. Okay, so that is about how we do simple input and output in Python. That is all for this video. Thank you.